Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about shortcuts and customizations in the Azure portal. As always, I'll try to explain all in an easy language and to provide you with effective examples to make it easier to understand this useful topic. The topics we are going to talk about are shortcuts in the Azure portal, customizations in the Azure portal. About customizations, we are going to talk about favorite services, the behavior of the main menu, the behavior of the service menu, the theme we can use in the Azure portal, the startup view, language and region, and the Azure portal plan. The first topic is shortcuts in the Azure portal. Well, all the shortcuts in the Azure portal are in the form key 1 plus key 2. It means we need to hold down key 1 and then press key 2. Some examples are shown here. We can see there are shortcuts to create new resource, to go to the dashboard page, to go to the all the resources page, and so on. On the Microsoft website, we can find more shortcuts to use in the Azure portal. Okay, so let's go to the Azure portal and try to use these shortcuts. This is the home page of the Azure portal. So here we can use all the shortcuts we've seen before, but the shortcuts can be used from within every page in the Azure portal, so not only from the home page. Okay, so if I press G plus N on my keyboard, I mean if I press G and while G is pressed, I press N, I go to the page to create a new resource. If I press G plus D, I go to the dashboard page. If I press G plus A, I go to the all resources page. G plus B, I go to the all services page. G plus R, I go to the resource groups page. And finally, the more interesting is the last one, G plus number. For example, if I press now G plus 3, I go to the app services page because the app service menu is in the third position on the left menu. For example, if I press G plus 6, I go to the Azure Cosmos DB because the Azure Cosmos DB is in the sixth position on the left menu. Okay, for more useful shortcuts, we can click on the gear icon here. Click on the Learn More About Settings link. So we go to the Microsoft website, open the reference menu on the left, and click on the keyboard shortcuts. And here in this page, we can see more useful shortcuts that can be used on the Azure portal. Let's now talk about customization. The first topic about customization is favorite services. On the All Services page, we can click the star next to the service we want to mark as a favorite. So if the star next to the service name is blue, it means the service is marked as a favorite service, so it appears in the left menu. If the star next to the service is white, it means the service is not marked as a favorite, so it won't appear in the left main menu. Okay, let's go to the Azure portal to see the favorite services. In the Azure portal, we need to go to the All Services page. Here we can find a lot of services we can use in the Azure portal. Next to every service, there is a star. If the star is blue, for example, here next to the Matrix Advisors service, It means the service will appear here in the left menu. If the star next to a service is white, the uh, the service won't appear here in the left menu. So here we have the chance to mark as a favorite all the services we use more often. Another customization in the Azure portal is the behavior of the main menu. There are two possible choices. The first one is fly out. In this case, the menu is hidden until we need it. We can select the menu icon, these three lines in the upper left corner to open or close the menu. The other choice is docked. In this case, the menu is always visible, but we can always collapse it by clicking this icon in the upper left corner if we need more working space. Okay, let's go to the portal to see this customization. In the Azure portal, here we need to click the gear icon and then go to Appearance and Startup Views. And here we can choose the behavior of the main menu. In this case, the main menu is docked, so the main menu is visible, but we can hide it by clicking on this icon here if we need more working space, and we can make it visible again by clicking again this icon. If the menu is fly out, we choose fly out and then click apply. The menu is hidden, and if we want to see it, we need to click this icon, these three lines, to make it visible. Another customization is the service menu. A service menu can be collapsed. So when we open a service page, the related menu will be collapsed or expanded. So when we open a service, the related menu will be expanded. In the Azure portal, we can choose the behavior of the service menu here. So we can choose between collapsed and expanded. As usual, when we make our choice, we need to click the apply button. This service menu is related to the menu of whatever service in the Azure portal. For example, here I'm showing you the menu about the resource group, and we can see that the menu of the resource group is expanded. If it were collapsed, when we open the resource group page, we will see the menu like this, so collapsed. Okay, so let's move on and talk about a theme. Here we can choose the background color and the font color that appear in the Azure portal. We can choose between a light theme and the Azure portal will be with a white background and dark font color. Or we can choose the dark theme, and in this case the Azure portal will be with a black background and a light font color. Or we can choose auto, and in this case the Azure portal automatically detects the system theme and switch to dark light mode automatically, obviously only if the browser supports it. In the Azure portal we can choose the theme here. You can see that now I have a light theme, and the Azure portal has a white background and a dark font color. I can also choose the dark theme, and in this case the portal has a black background and a light font color. And I can also choose auto. In this case the portal will automatically detect the system theme and will switch between light and dark theme but only if the browser supports this feature. Another customization in the Azure portal is the startup view. We can choose between home and dashboard. If we choose home, when we enter the Azure portal, we will be in the home page. If we choose the dashboard option, when we enter the Azure portal, we will be in the dashboard page. In the Azure portal, we can choose the setup page here. So we can choose between home and dashboard. If we choose home, when we enter the Azure portal, we will be here. If we choose dashboard, when we enter the Azure portal, we will be here in the dashboard page. We can also choose the language for text throughout the Azure portal. And we can also choose a regional format so we can control the way dates, time, numbers, and currency are shown in the Azure portal. To do so, we need to go to the Azure portal to the language and region menu. And here we can choose the language of our choice. For example, I can choose Spanish. And if I click apply, the portal will reload and all the text will be in Spanish. The last customization I want to show you is the Azure Portal Plan. Here we can select what we plan to do on Azure to get personalized tips, tools, and services. So for example, here we can specify that we are using Azure because we want to learn new cloud skill, or because we want to use artificial intelligence and machine learning in our apps, or for example, because we want to build IoT and edge solutions and so on. To do so, on the Azure portal, we need to go to the My Information menu. And here in the Azure Portal Plan combo box, we can choose uh, the reason why we are using the Azure portal to get personalized tips, tools, and services. Okay, the video is over. Thanks for watching. For further useful videos, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and of course on YouTube. Thanks for watching.